Alright guys, here at Rockingham on the iRacing, and I want to show you guys this racetrack here. This is the most realistic you'll ever see for a game. iRacing does scan all these racetracks, so every little bump that's in the Rockingham Speedway is on this racetrack. Every wall barrier, everything on here is actually scanned from iRacing. So as you feel these bumps going in the corner stuff, that's the way it is in real life. So let's run some laps here. This is a tough track to drive, so it really hangs. Back. Gotta really kill the Marines right now. Center of the corner. Careful on the two. I was out here practicing with some guys earlier, and everybody was complaining about the bumps, but that's just the rock. Let me show you guys how bumpy this is. Watch this car bounce through these corners. Now this is the way it is in real life. It's that bumpy in the back straightaway. Right there's where I got loose. Going in there, about lost it. I got my paint scheme back that I run from a few years ago. Still in the game, so I'm running my 78 Denver Mattress Furniture Row Toyota. Can't wait to see this thing in an official race here in a day or two after I get some more practice in. Still trying to work on the setup. Go. is a very, very tough racetrack to drive, and I would say out of the tracks on iRacing with the NASCAR series, this would definitely be one of the top 4 or 5 hardest tracks to drive on. What they used to drive. These drivers nowadays in the Cup Series don't know, how hard it is to drive these cars, especially at the place like Rock here where it's bouncy like that. You got the Rock, Darlington, Martinsville. You got a lot of the tracks that's just so brutal on you. But this right here was a brutal racetrack. That's why you seen drivers from the 90s crawl out of the car after the race. But it's a beautiful racetrack, and I hope to God it comes back one day. I want to show this on here and let my buddy Shiny Knife see it. Or anybody that plans on getting on iRacing here in the future. It's fun to do. You got to do a lot of testing. That's the whole key thing is testing. Like with the garage and stuff. I mean, just one little tiny major adjustment with the spring rate or the packers. The packers are a big key on those bumps, because if you do go too low on the left front packer or too high on the right front packer, it's going to cause the car to drag ground. And, and the bump stiffness and the rebound stiffness in the race car. So many adjustments you can do. Just if you ever do this iRacing thing, do minor adjustments at a time. I mean, you may be sitting there for 4 hours trying to get your car to handle better or run better on the longer run with a truck arm mount. Sometimes you can go with the bottom and the top, and that will make the car rotate better. Or sometimes you can go with top and top, and most of the time they'll make it really loose, but you'll have to tighten it up other ways around. So a lot of different ways to adjust. Tire pressure is really not that super important unless you're in a race and say you're just a touch loose. You'll want to go down a little bit in that left rear tire. As you can see where I was running up there, the tire wear looks pretty good where I've been working on the setup. I got 99 across. Of course, I only run 4 laps. But just having 99% after 4 laps is pretty solid. So that tells me the car's rotating decent. Everything looks good, especially the left rear. So setup's going pretty decent. With the rear end gear ratio, I'm running a 389. I could run a little higher or get a little more RPMs, but I like it the way it's set there. We'll see how that is. But here's Rockingham, guys. I just wanted to show you this. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Look at the beautiful racetrack. iRacing done a great job of scanning it and putting it in perspective on how this track really is. The stands, everything's exactly the way it is in real life at Rockingham. That's one thing I love about the iRacing is people think they just make these tracks like, say, NASCAR Heat does. NASCAR Heat don't scan the tracks. They just build to make them look like they're real. But these are actually scanned in real life. And it pretty much is the real racetrack right here. So, very cool. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you guys later.